Hello, folks, and welcome to Fairth. My name is Neil. My pronouns are he, him, and I am the creator of this indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and live alongside humanity. We're getting to a rather poignant period in the calendar within our game. There had previously, in the last year, there was the Franco Prussian War. Only in this world, the Franco Prussian War was an alliance between Otto von Bismarck and Emperor Napoleon III, who they both hated each other, but they hated the Fey nation of Arcadia nestled between their two countries even more. The king of Arcadia, who had ruled for centuries, died, and his son took the throne. Bismarck, thinking that this was a sign of weakness due to the shift in politics and power, convinced Napoleon III to ally with him in an attack. It was a bloody war, with everybody shocked at the casualties that the humans were able to inflict early in the conflict. As historically, anytime humans and Fae met on the battlefield, the humans are decimated. But with the advances in modern military technologies, the modern rifles that humans have, as well as the more accurate artillery, especially of the French, they were able to actually inflict casualties. But the Fae adapted to these new tactics and new technologies. And on the last day of the war, which, and if I get this wrong, Susie will correct me, the 9th of May,
Yep.
the 9th of May, the Fae unleashed a devastating attack on the French and Prussian armies. The official word from the leaders and generals was they used some ancient, unknown power, conjuring infernos, but the few soldiers who survived swear that they saw dragons on the battle that day. Something that those in power have dismissed as pure nonsense because no one has seen a dragon in Europe in nearly 5 centuries. But we are now coming up to that 1 year anniversary, and there are celebrations, I suppose, for want of a better word, being organized in Paris to commemorate this event. But well, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let one of our players give us a recap of our last session.
Me please.
Mm-hmm.
So last session we had the wonderful Justine and her brother doing some sibling catching up, a lovely reunion, and Justine went along to the convention to help her brother along, and she ended up talking to quite a few different people from the Aztec and the Inca people, and she managed to find out a bit more about some of their magical practices. And Justine, as always, being our big brain character, was fascinated by especially the death magic that they practiced. And she managed to kind of, I suppose, get a deal for her brother by trading one of the books of shadows. It was Montclerc's Book of Shadows. And yeah, so, and for that, Justine's family are now going to get some of the best chocolate from the Inca people. And this is going to be huge for their family. And it's a great celebration. We all went to the ball later on as well. And while we were at the ball, Madame Gautier showed up with a lovely new hot blonde on her arm, and the party were disgusted. Like, how dare she disrespect Gwen like that? But
I
also
wasn't
at the same
disgusted.
time,
We all knew what was going on.
we all were like, what? What's happening? Yes, some words were said about, oh, that is quite interesting. And Madame Gautier nicely rebuffed that. And I can appreciate the hustle, you know? So, yeah, and the party were last kind of like squirreling Justine's brother out into the foyer so we could all be like, what the hell is happening? And I'm pretty sure every Arcanagram is out trying to message Gwen, you know, like messenger pens being like, you will not believe what just happened. And hopefully she'll respond. She probably won't, but you know, a party can hope. And yeah, so the party are just kind of wandering around doing a few bits and bobs. The party are rich, filthy rich at the moment. Um, so yeah, and we just got some new goodies that came out of the Baron's Ring of Hoarding.
Okay,
So yeah.
so um, you do spend a few more hours, like obviously at the ball. You don't just immediately leave when you see Josephine with her new paramour. But Justine is obviously mostly spending her time with Jan, the
Mhm.
various delegates from the various South American empires, as well as the Spanish and Portuguese colonies, which are also present there. Though in this timeline of Fayard, those colonies are significantly smaller because empires like the Mayan, Aztec, and Inca were able to resist the invasion of the conquistadors and so forth. Okay, but there is still colonies there, just smaller. North America, the United States is similar. The United States exists, but it's a lot smaller. Okay, but anyway, so you still have a fun evening. And Madame Gautier does not avoid you. She's mingling with everybody as she would do, being a powerful artificer. She's looking to make trade connections as well. Exotic artifacts that she might get from South America. There are numerous magical creatures from that part of the world that we do not find in Europe. So naturally, she would be looking to procure things like that, that she could experiment with in her own artificery. But you do have a good night. She's also not avoiding any of you. Um,
The
beha-
Mina is giving her the death glare, like she's giving her a very judgmental,
she
like every
sees your,
Christian
yeah,
does. You know what I mean? She doesn't care. Like Mina
yeah.
really doesn't care if she reacts or not, but she's just like, you know what I mean, giving her this like really judgmental, like you ho
And,
stare, you
and
know.
it's quite clear that she doesn't care either.
Yeah, Sylvia is sort of avoiding her altogether, and look is just going to keep every time she looks at Madame Gautier, she's going to look vaguely and sees Mina looking at Madame Gautier. She's going to look vaguely guilty and like kind of be not avoiding Mina, but just like kind of okay. I'm gonna not say anything about this because.
Annelise doesn't quite get precisely what's going on, but she's getting the energy of we're not a fan of this person anymore, so she's just kind of nodding along and she gets the
Like,
vibe.
In fairness, Aminata is like Aminata understands like a whole of the people. Aminata's like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
That is fair. I've seen where it's happening, and Aminata is doing their diplomat daughter thing and just kind of socializing. Oh, my parents say hi, da 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 da, making polite chit chat, and you can see that they're like literally flitting around this place and chatting here and there, like almost seemingly everywhere at once, doing what they need to do.
Yeah, cool. So anyway, as I say, you spend some time there. Eventually, you leave, okay, and you still have an enjoyable night overall. And Justine and Jan have a wonderful time. He is traveling back to not the following. He spends one more night and one more day in Paris, and he returns back on the Friday. Okay, so Heinrich is scheduled to arrive on the 7th.
Yes.
On the 7th of May, and Jan leaves on Friday the 3rd of May. So Heinrich is coming on Tuesday the 7th. Okay.
Before
So
Jan leaves, Mina's gonna try to have a quick chat with him
yeah, of course.
because, like, I think she'd be kind of wondering how he is coping with everything.
He seems to be doing okay. He says he's
And
perfectly
she's
fine.
kind of gonna tell him a little bit of what happened to her brother, and she's just like, "Yeah, I'm just wondering how you're doing
He said
with
when he
everything that happened to
yeah,
you."
he does tell you that Justine had told him of much of what had happened, and he said, like,
Yeah,
compared to what happened to your brother, what happened to him was perfectly, benign almost, um, like in the grand
Mina's just like,
scheme of
"Yeah, but your
things.
mind was just as much like manipulated. Like, I think his mind was my brother's mind was broken by the
Well,
war,
I
but
mean,
you were also manipulated. Like,
let's,
that's not right either.
I
Like,
suppose, but at the same time, you saw Melisande, she was a goddess. It didn't take much for her to manipulate me. Let's be
I
honest.
suppose,
The
yeah, I
manipulation
suppose.
was not in our relationship, it was the fixation in it and my not
Yeah.
leaving her to visit my family. That was where the manipulation came in. So it was really quite different. Honestly, I am perfectly fine. You don't need to worry about me.
It's good to hear, though. Like, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Thank you for your concern. And I'm glad that your brother is doing better now, thanks to you and my sister and your group.
If it hadn't been for your sister, honestly, like what she did was just amazing.
She
Like
is.
she is so powerful. You cannot believe. She's really incredible.
It is hard to believe that my baby sister has grown into such a strong and formidable woman. And Justine over here, she's like, it's 6 minutes, okay? 6 minutes. So yeah.
Twins.
Twins. So
Yes.
but he does eventually say goodbye to you all, and he gets on the train heading back to Ghent. Okay. So if nobody has anything else, or if you have stuff, but it's like we'll just say like any shopping and stuff. Yes, Amanada.
I want to go to a cell, please.
Oh yeah. We already said that you were doing that anyway. You'd said that you wanted to find a style and start trying it. As I did explain to you, though, 19th century styles would have been teaching small sword and what would over the next 20 years evolve into the beginnings of foil sports fencing.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, it's mainly just
Okay.
to practice, because it's like I haven't really had many people to practice with and things like that, so I just want to kind of brush
of
up.
course, of course,
Sure.
you're doing that.
Annelise would spar with you.
Yeah.
She doesn't use her
Lovely.
sword much, but she has it and she's trained in using it. So
Yes,
If you
Annalise
guys
does have a
spar,
saber.
Mina would love to watch.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, Annalise has a saber
bad with it.
versus your cane sword. It's quite different to Mina with Albert.
Yeah,
for sure, yeah.
Watch.
Very.
We really would like to watch
Yes. So
if you allow it.
So yeah, as I said, we can say is do all that kind of stuff, and
Yeah,
eventually
yeah.
we get to the morning of. So Sylvia, it's Tuesday, the 7th. Your brother is arriving on the midday train. How are you feeling?
Sylvia is really nervous, but she's kind of, because obviously Sylvia is really good at, hiding how she's feeling. So everyone thinks she's totally fine,
yeah,
and
no,
she's
I
really
mean-
relaxed.
Yes.
Funny
best.
because Mina was just gonna go
Just-
up to you and ask that exact question, because she has lots of brothers, so she'd be really asking that question, like, how are you feeling?
Well, I've missed him so much. I'm really excited about seeing him, but also I am a very different person to the person I was when he last saw me. I am a little bit afraid. There's obviously so
But you
much
were
has
dead,
happened.
right?
Yeah, and that is my fault. I wanted to write and I didn't, and the more time went on, the harder it got, and he suffered because of me, and I don't know.
I mean,
I'm going-
I obviously look. I don't know your brother, and I understand that you were worried. And I don't know your brother, but just as a sibling, like my brother isn't the same person he used to be, and I still love him. I will always love him, and I'm sure your brother would feel the same about you.
I hope so.
Of course he will. And if he doesn't, me and Albert will give him a good talking to.
Oh, well,
I will kill your brother.
yeah,
Or we'll give him a good talking
or
to.
threaten him very severely.
yeah. Well, I can't wait to introduce him to all of you. I know that he's going
Sounds
to.
nice from what you told us.
He's going to love all of you, I'm sure. And Annelise, you know each other, so it would be good for you to see him again, I'm sure.
Have you surfed in the same?
It will be lovely to see the good major again. Then what?
It's a
What
midday, it's a midday train, so I'm going to meet him at the station, I think.
Oh.
And then I can greet him when he gets off the train.
Do we plan? Are you going? I imagine you would like an afternoon with him. Would you? Are we going to reconvene at the event, or would you rather we
What
meet
event?
somewhere?
The event's not until the 9th.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, would you rather we
Are
meet
you
you
gonna be
somewhere?
okay?
Or...
Yeah, you're
oh,
gonna
well,
be
you know,
okay.
I am going. You can come if you want to. I plan to. I'm going to. I think it would be easiest if I wait above everyone. I'm going to, so I can see him better when he comes off the train. But
That's
you
a
can
good
be there
idea.
if you want to, Annelise. And if you, I didn't
Oh,
think that
no,
you were
I
that
wouldn't.
close
No,
to him. But if you want to see him, by all means,
no,
I
no, no,
don't
no.
want to
I
keep
was
you.
not. No, I was not. Yeah, it's if it is a family thing. I was only asking. It's not a trouble, really.
Maybe we could meet for dinner or something. I don't. That actually, yeah, I think we should meet for dinner. What do you think? All of
She
us?
kind of looks at the rest of the group. I don't have much
Aminata
going on.
That'd
Aminata
be
is definitely
lovely,
gonna
I'm
like.
sure.
Can I gauge how uncomfortable Annalise is with
Please
this
give me an
whole
awareness roll.
situation?
Sylvia is
Thank you.
fucking oblivious. She's like way
Amina is
too
completely.
nervous.
She hasn't got a clue what's going on.
Yeah, Aminata is just like watching Annalise, like, are you okay?
No.
So it's just awareness, keen eyes. You don't have behavioralists to help you with that.
That is not going to be an issue. That is
Cool.
a 22.
Ah,
So,
I won't bother.
Annalise, what does Aminata pick up on from you?
You were wanting to see how uncomfortable she is?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Incredibly.
how are you feeling about? Oh, okay, so
Incredibly uncomfortable, and not for the reason you think.
So, just one question. I can't remember, Sylvia, in your letters to Heinrich, did you tell him about Annalise joining your party?
No, I don't think
I
so.
don't think you did.
No, I didn't think you
I
did,
didn't
but I wanted to
mention
clarify
so.
that. Okay, super. So,
Yeah, she's
so
very
who-
uncomfortable, and it's not. It's very layered, but it's not what you think.
who is going with Sylvia to Gare Nord? That is a train station that would go to Belgium.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask, do you want anyone there, or would you like to see him? I mean, like,
Yeah,
on
no,
your
I think
own?
I think Sylvia actually would like you there because she's actually fucking terrified of seeing him as well because she's so different and yeah, kind of wants the moral support. But
You
All
would
of us,
like
yeah.
emotional support.
Okay, we will be your cheerleaders, Sylvia, and
But it's literally
Aminata
like she's
is-
not gonna fucking admit that under pain of
Oh no,
death.
absolutely.
So, Mina, Aminata, Justine are all going, with you. Okay.
Sure, if
I
you wish
will-
that, well, be there.
I'll stick close to Annalise just to kind of try and be like a bit of a comfort there because
Yeah,
I have
so
no
like-
idea what is happening. It's not my business.
You
but I
coming as
will
well,
also want
Annalise?
to.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not
Let's
going.
go. You're not
You're not going.
Annalise isn't
Why?
going.
Come
So
with us.
Okay, Grant. Okay, that's
yeah,
fine.
you guys can
Okay.
go. She's gonna.
Okay.
I have to make sure I have an outfit for later this week.
Okay.
We'll catch you.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this the first time Annalise has
Okay,
actually
see you
cared
later.
about wearing something in particular? Actually,
It's probably the first time you're seeing like actual cracks in her armor.
okay, yeah. So that's going to be quite. That's going to be. I'm filing that away. They've
Yeah,
never
she's
mentioned
normally
caring
very good
about
at
what they're
keeping, like,
wearing.
It's either like generally just on the level or like socially uncomfortable. This is completely new.
Ooh, oh, juicy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
I like
I'm excited. Okay, so Sylvia's gonna go to the station. I'm gonna wild shape into a bird, and I'm gonna like kind of I'm just gonna be watching the trains or watching. So for
What
him getting off,
manner of bird do you wild shape into?
something that has
Pigeon.
really good perception.
So, falcon.
A seagull.
Yeah.
Falcon.
Falcon.
You know those
Falcon,
Parisian
pigeon,
falcons.
fuck off.
I'm not gonna actually, shapeshift into a fucking menace.
Okay. So, that will be.
But they've got great
I'm gonna
perception.
say,
All the
as
pigeons go like,
a falcon, you get a +7 to your awareness roll
Cool.
nice.
because they have supreme vision.
And also because Sylvia is at heart a merciless and terrible troll.
To her brother, anyway.
This is the perfect opportunity for an amazing prank, and I am so excited.
So we're just waiting, like, by the station, like, we're behind the tracks, and you're just looking out where he arrived
You're
from,
basically
right?
up at the
Okay, yeah,
platform.
get
You
you.
know, it's not like modern
Exactly.
train stations where you have to get through a barrier. Like people would just walk.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
remember, back then you would have purchased your ticket from the conductor on the train.
Oh, the days. Them
Yeah.
are the days.
Yeah. So I remember on Dublin bus as a child. This is to our viewers in chat. I am quite ancient. I am so old that I remember on public transport in Ireland, there was a second, it was always a man who worked on the bus and would travel up and down the aisles selling people their ticket. I remember that.
They're the days.
Yes, very old. So,
Okay.
apologies for the interruption there, for the nostalgia. So, Sylvia, you are up in the beams as a falcon, looking at the trains as they're coming into Gardino. And Mina, Aminata, Justine, you guys are just like looking around because you have no idea what Heinrich looks like.
Mhm.
You know? So, right.
I'm going to assume there's a family resemblance.
Yeah, there is. But at the same time, you've never met the man. You know, so Sylvia, give me that +7 awareness roll, please.
That is. Sorry, I can't see if it's 13 or an 18. Oh, it's a 13. So 7, it's a dirty 20.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, the two trains pull in at almost the exact same time, and everybody starts pulling out. And after a minute, you do see your brother. He is in his military uniform, stepping out. He's got a small suitcase with him, not very big, as he steps out onto the platform, looking around, and then just starts walking towards the exit.
I'm going to fly over to him and then just
You
drop
fly
spell
over,
right in front of him.
swoop down in front of him, and shift. Yes?
Drop the spell. Yep.
As you do, there is gasp and exclamations from the crowd because you just shapeshifted in the middle of a crowd from a fucking falcon into a human.
No, I don't
As
care.
he stops, he stops. I looks at you.
Hello.
My name is Venig Lily. And he gives you a big hug.
Oh.
So, Sylvia, describe what Heinrich looks like.
So, Heinrich, he's pretty tall. Basically, the actor I used as a physical descriptor is Michael Fassbender. So, tall, wiry, pretty buff. Except he's got a mustache. Very neat.
Yeah.
Very neat.
19th century, of course he does.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, after the Steph Break, your vampire.
I might just be a totally reformed person.
He's pretty tall. What is it with you and like falling in love with members of my family in games? Like,
who would do such a thing?
Like
the last time.
Oh yes, your uncle.
Yeah.
He was a dickhead, but he was hot.
He was not a dickhead. He was a big softie.
That can help sometimes.
In the end, we found out he was a softie, but at first
and he was also super hot.
I was still interested.
Canonically, frost giants in Feyre, they're all hot. Yes.
Yeah, I was like,
as Sylvia.
Climb that tree. Thank you very much.
So when you say, sorry, Sylvia.
Sylvia
when you say tall, we're talking like 190, 192, like
yeah,
proper
about
tall.
190.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Sylvia had been all kind of surprise, got you, you know. But as he hugs her, there's a little kind of she does start crying.
As he says, my little Lily, when he gives you that big hug.
And then like so my arms do go around him and I basically like bury my head in.
It's been a long time since you felt one of your brother's hugs.
Yeah.
When was the last time you felt one of your brother's hugs?
I'm trying to think when we've seen each other. I think there was a muster kind of at the start of May.
Yeah.
There were new plans of a new strategy, and they were trying. It's like, okay, you go here, you go here. And Sylvia had like gone to Heinrich and told him where she was being sent, and he was pretty pissed off because it was quite far and also on the front lines, so he was really like freaking out about it.
So about 3 days before the final.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 days before your wife died was the last time you hugged your brother.
Yeah.
Remind me, is he older than you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's 6 years older.
Yeah.
6 years. Okay, yeah.
Proper
yeah,
big
yeah,
brother, proper big brother.
That is a proper big brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, cool.
She has a sister who's 3 years older than her, but Heinrich is
Right. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Get
Yeah.
you. Yeah. There's one in
He's
between.
proper big brother. Okay.
He really is. Like, yeah.
Have you gotten taller?
No,
He would have been pissed
I
off in that,
think-
like, especially because the baby sister's been sent to the bloody front
So,
line. Like,
Sylvia's gonna just sort of try and. So you have to come and meet my friends. How was your journey?
It was fine. I knew as soon as we had entered France from the shift in the rail, the French, they cannot build proper rail.
I have been in France for a while now, so I'm used to it, I suppose.
You've forgotten the efficiency of our transportation in the fatherland.
Well, magic is even more efficient again, so.
Well, we cannot all be gifted druid princesses trained by fae queens.
Do I look like a princess to you? Come on.
Well, that dress you're wearing is very nice. It fits you far better than your old uniform. You always looked like a small boy who had snuck into his father's wardrobe to dress up in his clothes.
Sylvia gives him a punch on the arm for that.
And he chuckles.
You're still a dickhead.
Yes,
but
I
missed you.
I missed you too. I missed you too. So show me, where are these friends of yours?
Here's they are. This is Mina. She I can't remember what I've said in my letters. Mina is
this is and he switches immediately to German with you, Mina. This is the fearsome warrior who battles trolls and ogres.
Freut mich, dich zu treffen. Schön. Wie war deine Reise?
Yeah.
But yeah, she's wearing her uniform as well, just
Yeah.
And this
she's like, hi, how are you? I hope you're okay. How was your trip? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
This is Aminata. Her parents are diplomats and she lives in Paris. But I believe your father is from Mali.
Yes, my father's from Mali and my mother is Faye and from Greece.
Oh, that is very interesting. Sylvia is the most exotic member of our family.
Well,
sorry,
Sylvia is
what?
quite an amazing person.
How am I exotic? What?
Because you're a druid witch person.
Well,
unlike us boring, mundane soldiers and florists.
Well, it runs in families. You could have the arcane spark for all you know.
I think we would know if I had the arcane spark, trust me.
Well, I didn't know that I had it until after, everything that happened. So who knows?
The amount of times I've tried to light a pipe while standing out on the trenches, if I had the ability to use magic, I would know.
Yeah.
And this is Yastine. She is a very skilled sorceress. She was
very clever.
Yeah, she has.
This is the scholar you told me of.
Yeah, you would not believe the things that she has been able to do. And she is far smarter than I am, for sure. But you must be tired. Are you?
No, I'm okay.
Is this Anki?
Oh, a fairy dragon. We saw a few in the war. The Arcadian troops would use them as messengers.
Oh, I
It,
suppose some of
He's
the battle mages would have had some.
one or two, not many, because of the vulnerability of to sorcerers if the familiar dies.
Hmm. Well,
Um,
Anki is strong, and he has survived this far. So um,
well,
people would be lost without him, I
Antlogon
think.
the Great is amazing.
they are fascinating creatures.
They really
Fascinating.
are. And very
Um,
So
cute.
where would
how
you
was
like to
every?
go? Everything was good. Where would you like to go? I suppose I do need to check into my hotel.
Oh, of course. We should go there first.
Yes. Yeah, let's go there.
So
Where is
yeah.
it you're staying?
It's a simple little place. It's slightly outside the center of the city. He's in,
Oh,
so
it's very
he's
nice.
in kind of a. It's a modest R&D small. It's not fancy, but it's not run down, and it's there's a small little guest house,
Very nice.
very very modest, you know. So they got he's go Aminati, once he tells you the address, you of course know exactly where it is, and you're like, okay, it's about 20
Mm.
minutes from where we are because train stations being that are always central in the usually slightly more rundown part of the city, and he's kind of like rundown adjacent. Um, so
Adjacent.
Run
yeah,
down adjacent.
so
Yeah, I'm going to say, oh, well, it'd probably be quite quick for you to grab a cab. I know we have one other party member to get, and Sylvia,
Oh
if
yeah,
you
you
want to
you
go with,
know.
if you want to go to Heinrich, and we can meet you for dinner, and you get a chance to catch up. No,
that would be
Yeah,
wonderful. Yeah, yeah, that would be wonderful.
Aminata,
So
you have your arcanagram. I can send you a message.
that's perfect.
wonderful.
We'll see you later, Heinrich. It's a pleasure to meet you, and
It's so
yeah.
one that it's so such a pleasure to put faces to the names that have been in my sister's letters.
Oh, I hope she didn't write anything too scandalizing.
No, she speaks with high praise of you all.
Well, none of us have done anything particular well, except for Gwyn, but
Well,
that is
um,
just who Gwyn is.
shall we depart?
Yeah. We shall get a cab, get you settled into your hotel, and yeah, okay.
Okay, so you guys, oh, we are being rated. Hello, guys. Thank you for joining us. So,
Hi.
so Sylvia, you jump in the cab with Heinrich, heading to the hotel. It's like less than 10 minutes, and you get there. You check in, and um, yeah. He says, "So, would you like to get a coffee? Would you like to get a drink?"
Yeah, if you could get a drink, there are plenty of places around. Let's do that. We get you settled, and um, Sylvia is she is really nervous because she's yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
how?
you just go to a quiet spot to get a drink, and
Okay.
you sit there, and he says, "So, how are you actually doing?"
Well, I have been fine. Obviously, I am long since recovered from injuries that I had. But no, I'm not. I'm not really looking forward to the ninth, to be
Oh,
honest with you.
no, of course not. I
I
I think of her all the time myself.
yeah, and Sylvia looks really fucking guilty when he says that.
We had become quite close.
I know, I know, and I obviously think about her all the time as well. I feel like she's everywhere, and anytime I see something, I wonder what she would think about it, and um,
I cannot help but think what you think of you now, a powerful druid.
Oh,
Adventuring, battle fey creatures, saving the innocent.
I Sylvia looks really like guilty at this point. Um, well, I don't know. I think she would probably have made a better druid than me. Um, I
Ah, Um, she would not. She did not have your green thumb.
well, there is more to being a druid than growing flowers, of course. Sometimes you are removing curses and dropping large rocks on people. Uh,
But a reverence of nature is a big part of what it is to be a druid, and that is something that you've always had. Even when we were young, you were always gifted with flowers and with plants. It was something that she loved about you. She told me so.
I do sometimes, well, she was always so much stronger. I sometimes I wonder how I am still here when she is not, because of all of our friends, I was always the weakest one.
When you say that,
Um,
he reaches out for and he just gently takes your hand. And he says, "You have a strength that you never recognized, Sylvia." And as he's doing it, he rubs his hand over. That is a very interesting ring that you are wearing.
oh, this is the ones that I told you about, that we got from that ancient vampire.
Ah, the one
Um,
that protects against dragons.
yeah, it would have been great to have had, but
Yes, yes, it would have. A lot of people could have survived that day with magic such as that.
I'm just glad that you survived as well. That was
I'm,
part of what kept me from writing to you. I was so afraid that if I wrote to you and discovered that you were dead, I just
I,
could.
I was not on the front line on the day of the attack, not through my own choice, but because of the orders that I was given. I was something I was quite angry about. I wanted to be fighting alongside my soldiers. Though if I had been, I would probably not be here right now.
Well,
So few survived on that last day.
yeah, it it was really really awful. But I suppose you are alive, and I'm sure some of your soldiers survived as well. And
Yes,
I don't think I could ever go back to the barracks.
of course
Um,
not. That's not where your life is. Your life is
no,
here in France with these people.
well, I think what I've learned is home is not a place. It's where your friends, your family are, and who your family are is they are the people who stay by you. So
You
I
know,
I
in 2 days, your mourning will be officially over.
that look of guilt is back again.
I know you are
um,
not wearing black, but I know you. You have been in mourning for Elizabeth. I know it.
well, I am not going to go and spend money on a dress so everyone knows how broken I am. I
That's not
really.
why you're not Win Black. We both know that. But I am just saying, in 2 days, officially, your mourning period is over. And as much as you are not going to like what I'm going to say, you will have to start thinking of your life and living it and moving on. She would not want you to live your life bitter or sad or alone. She'd want you to live a life full of love.
But I'm not alone. I
Mm.
I have my friends, and
Yes, I understand. But you know what I mean.
oh,
I
and,
have
and
I have friends too, but mother still writes to me at least once a month asking when I'm getting married.
I'm sure she would love to boast about how her great son is.
Irrelevant. My point still stands. You
Well,
have
have
your
you?
friends.
Then are you getting married, Heinrich? I don't know how I am. I'm not
Honestly,
thinking about getting married now. I'm
no, but you might want to see what is out there. I mean, that Mina, she seems quite lovely.
oh. Are you trying to play matchmaker?
No, I'm
Mina is
not.
my Mina is my friend,
I'm just saying she seems quite lovely. She seems like a lovely girl.
and
Even if she does speak funny German, but the Swiss.
she is Mina is wonderful. She is so strong, and I really think that you will have a lot to talk about. But
Mm.
she's not even gone a year. Why are you sitting here trying to play matchmaker now?
I'm not trying to play matchmaker, but in 2 days you will have been mourning a year. And do you honestly think that she gave so much of herself to you that she would want to see you? I can see Sylvia when you were with her. I knew I could see clear as day how much you loved her because every single time you were near her, even just when you spoke her name, it was like an inner light shone from your eyes. There was so much love between you, but your
Well,
eyes now, they look to be filled with sadness. And it
oh,
breaks my heart to see that.
and
I,
what am I supposed to do, Heinrich? Just turn around and say, "Oh, well, thank you for dying for me. Thank you for, sacrificing your life for mine. And
she didn't
now I
choose.
am going to go and find all of these pretty ladies. And thank you for that. Bye.
She
Have
didn't
fun."
sacrifice her life. She died in a war like so many other soldiers. She didn't sacrifice her life for you. What are you talking about? She died alongside many. You were lucky to survive.
I I survived because of her, I suppose. Well,
What
not
do
I
you
suppose.
what
I did.
what are you
No,
talking about?
I don't know what you were told about. I told you there were dragons on
Yes.
that day. Um so well, we were fighting and on that day the same way that we did all the time. And well, on this particular day there were only dwarves, which is strange. Usually there were red caps and
Mm-hmm.
goblins and centaurs and
Mm-hmm.
giants also. They had the blocks and the
Yes.
giants would run in. But so this day there were only dwarves, and this was strange. But we were fighting, and well, after a time, we were, I thought we were winning, doing well, and then suddenly there was a horn that blew, and 3 times, and they all stopped suddenly, and we all stopped as well because it was so sudden, and then they all sank through the earth as they do because they are gifted in the sphere of earth, and they were all gone. And we all thought they had fled, and I remember Lisbeth putting her arm around me and talking about all the things that we were going to do, and because we thought the fighting was done, and there was just so much smoke, and then suddenly there was a whoosh of wind, and I just remember seeing these red glowing eyes. They were so high above us, 4 meters, 5 meters, I don't know exactly. And I just remember I heard her voice in my ear, and she told me to stay down and that she would keep me safe. And then, well, I felt a weight on me, and I was trying to tell her to stop, and because there was just so much fire everywhere, and that's why she's dead and I'm alive. And I'm not just going to turn around and say, well, thanks for doing that. I'm going to go and be with all of these pretty ladies and, throw that sacrifice in her face. It would make me a terrible person if I did that. And
He takes both your hands in his as he leans in. And he says, I did not know that was the specific way that she died.
Well, how else would someone like me still be alive after that?
You're strong. It does not surprise me at all that Elizabeth did that. Of course she would do that in a heartbeat. She loved you more than anything. And she would
I loved
gladly...
her as well, but
Yes.
she is the one who did that. I didn't do that.
That does not mean you do not love her. It just means that she was perhaps quicker and more stubborn than you.
Well, she's
If it is
always
possible to
stronger.
believe that somebody could be more stubborn than you. But do you honestly think she would want you to live a life without love, having sacrificed herself so you could live? How is that honoring her sacrifice?
But then if I die and I have to face, if there is an afterlife, and I have to face her then and say, well, you were dead, so how would I even look at her?
Don't be silly. If there is somewhere we go after this, she is waiting for you to give you one of those great big hugs that she used to give you, where she would lift you up and spin you around like a little girl.
If I had met someone, I don't know. And they did express an interest. I don't want to talk about this with you, Heinrich, but I was burned and everything else, nobody would.
Then I have served with men and women who have been dismembered, disfigured in battle, and they've still found love.
Well, I don't. If I had met someone who had expressed an interest, maybe, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with what I'm saying.
If they loved you, then it would not matter. And you are very easy to love.
Well, you have to say that. You're my brother.
No, as your brother, I have to say you are annoying and you smell.
Oh, Sylvia is going to punch him in the arm again. The next person.
You punch like a little girl. At least Elizabeth could give a proper punch.
Well, she was always much stronger than me. If one more person comments on how I smell, and Lutien told me that I smelled like I'd swum in a fog.
Oh, who else has been commenting on how you smell?
Well, that I don't know. The Lutien was saying that he was making fun of me for being a druid. It wasn't anything.
I see. I see.
he had they had moved into the park. They were luring people into fairy dances.
Ah, as they do.
We gave him some sherry. It was fine. You know, this is part of what I'm supposed to do as a druid. Um,
Oh, well. Shall we go for a walk?
yeah, I think I would like that.
Okay, let's just go
Um,
for a walk. So you go out onto the street, wandering around, looking at the various different things, looking at the different
as we're
sights.
walking out, Sylvia's going to start poking in the arm and
Mhm.
saying, "So, since you are so eager to learn about a love life of mine, I feel it's only fair. When are you getting married, Heinrich?"
Who knows? Since the war, things have been, well, we lost over 70% of our troops in the war. So I've been very busy. The Chancellor has brought in strict orders that the army must be rebuilt. Honestly, I'm thankful if I get more than 5 hours sleep at night. So maybe in a year or two, I might be able to have the time to talk to somebody about something other than supply lines and training and ammunition and oh. And you can see now looking at him, like he does look tired. He actually does. He looked like it's been maybe a year since you've seen him, but he looks like he's aged 2 or 3 years. He actually does look physically tired, as he's describing just how much work he's under right now, trying to rebuild the formerly Prussian, now German Federation army.
Well, how is Adelind? She
She
hasn't written to me, but I sent her some more money.
she is good. She's very busy with the children. She is so busy with the children. So she has said to me that she feels guilty. She has not replied to you, but truth be told, she has just been so busy with the children.
Well, the last time I saw her, she had two.
Hmm.
One more on the way. I can only assume that there are more.
Well, the one more arrived, but that seems to be it for now. I think she has
Hmm.
threatened him that if he comes near her again, she'll grab the scissors. But
She would too, you know.
yes, no, she's got. And as you're walking along, you've come outside a very very fancy, very very high end looking florist's, and Heinrich stops and he points at a very beautiful, very exotic looking orchid. Ah, huh. Uh, I never thought I would see one of them.
Is it a bird of paradise?
Um, Maybe, I don't know. It's a very fancy, exotic looking orchid. It does look like you didn't. It looks very similar to one that you got once before.
Yeah, so the bouquet that Adelind, or I'm sorry, not Adelind, Elizabeth organized for Sylvia was when she persuaded a bunch of soldiers, like friends, to break into a greenhouse near where they in a fancy estate near where they were camped, and
Yeah.
they basically stole a bunch of tiger lilies and bird of paradise. Or she did for Sylvia, just because, you know.
That was that was Elizabeth's flower. She never told you, did she?
What? Told me what?
So she and I used to actually meet up. We'd go for drinks and chat when you would be scheduled for patrol and such, and she wasn't. She would regularly come and we would meet and drink, and we'd
Well,
actually got.
General Hoffman said that she was a natural leader, so he was arranging for her to become a proper officer.
But my point is that whenever you were on duties that she was not, we would often meet up, and we got to become very close. We got to become very close. And I don't know how she did it. You know what she was like. She'd somehow managed to get her hands on some rare seeds of a rare orchid that she wanted to try and grow herself to give you as a gift. And she spent several weeks doing this. And I remember her coming to me with excitement when it started to bud, and she showed me the little green sprouts, and she was so overjoyed that she could do it because, unlike your green thumb, she had quite the black thumb. She was terrible with plants, and she was the first to say so. And then I remember like it was yesterday, 3, 4 days later, she came to me sobbing. Something had happened. These orchids, they're so delicate, they're so hard to grow, and it had died. And she was so broken-hearted because she'd so wanted to give you this gift and show you that she wasn't quite as, well, how is it she put it? A useless oaf who was good with her fists.
She was
Unlike her.
never. She was
Unlike,
never.
that's what she said. That was how she phrased it. A useless oaf who was good with her fists, unlike her beautiful wife who brought life to those things around her. And I remember she sobbed so hard, and this, she did not cry ever, but well, if it was about you, she would cry. And I happened to tell her of a certain noble house that happened to have a greenhouse with some rather rare and exotic flowers in it. That if she and a group of people were to go to, she might procure
That
some
was
flower.
you.
I just gave her the information.
You knew what she would do with that information. You know she got stuck on latrine duty for a whole month after that happened.
I remember visiting her, and she gave me a big kiss on the cheek. She was so happy that she'd been able to give you those flowers. She did make me swear never to tell you about the failed attempt because it really did break her heart that she couldn't do this for you. Something that
But
for you is easy.
so I don't know that I would have been able to do it with a plant like that. They're
Please, you
so
know as well as
delicate.
I do. Even before you trained with an elf, you had the gift of magic when it came to
I
flowers
didn't
and plants.
I didn't train with an elf. It was a Moosleute.
Whatever,
I,
elf, wood, wife, it does not matter. You were always gifted with the plants. But yes, she she made me promise, but I think I can break that promise now. Yes.
well, if I do feel like I would be breaking my wedding vows if I was to, move on, but um,
I know she would not want to see you live a lonely, sad life. She would want you to live a life of love and happiness, like the life that you had with her. I'm not saying that you can find a love like the love you had with her. It was a unique love. I was always envious of you for that. And so proud of how brave you were. You gave up everything to be with her. I don't know if I could be that brave, but
I really didn't have any other choice.
you had
I
a
didn't.
choice. You could have stayed with father, but it would not have
I
been
could
a
have
happy
stayed.
choice.
Father said that he said he would give me 2 weeks to find a husband. After he found out, he was going to give me 2 weeks to find a husband, or he was going to marry me off to one of his friends who, ugh, Hans, that
You
disgusting
would not have been
butcher.
you would not be the first woman who finds herself married to a man she doesn't love, but you chose to
Over
follow your
double
heart.
my age, being forced to clean his house and bear his children. I think, I
My
really had no other choice.
my point still stands. I'm not saying that you would find a love to match your love with her, but I know that she would want you to find another love to fill your heart. It is a big
Sylvia looks
heart.
really Sylvia looks really fucking guilty when he says that again.
So, at this stage, you've been wandering around for a few hours. Should we arrange to meet with your friends for dinner?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to start taking my Arcanagram, start writing a note to Aminata. I'm assuming Aminata is going to know an amazing restaurant that's brilliant and does really tasty food. And
okay, so the important question is, who is going for dinner?
We're all going for dinner.
Are we all going for dinner?
I feel like I'm being told something.
Well, Annelise gave the excuse of they need to find something to wear to dinner, so I am going to hold them to that.
Needs to find an outfit to wear for an event later that week. So she's not.
Oh, for the event later on that week.
If no one comes to get Annelise, she will not be going.
I will be going to get.
Of course, we're going to go.
Aminata and Mina go to get Annelise. Yes,
of course we are.
For sure.
I mean, Mina didn't pick up on anything anyway.
Of course,
so Mina just assumes like, of
oh, we're
course
gonna go grab
like,
Annelise.
why wouldn't you?
I will approach it very delicately though, considering the discomfort. I'm gonna be like, hi, yes, so Sylvia's messaged, and herself and Heinrich have walked around Paris for a bit, and they're now quite peckish. It's about
We're
time
going for dinner. Come on.
Will you be joining us?
You see, like she would still have been in a room, and you see, like, as she opens the door, her bob is a complete mess. It's just pointing all over the place. She's wearing her travel clothes, and the clothes you've normally seen her fight in. And just like you're perceptive enough that just as she opens up the door, you see on the bed behind her is a packed suitcase, which it's still open, but it looks like full. He goes, dinner. Yeah. Scheiße. I don't know.
Are you going somewhere?
I don't know. Oh. God.
Annelise, I hope you don't mind, but I did pick up that you're quite uncomfortable at the prospect of Heinrich being around and us being around him. And I know it is not my business, so you don't have to tell me anything. But if something like this is so severe that you would just leave us with, I assume, without any word as to where you're going, or actually, no, without any word would be harsh. You seem like the sort of person who would leave a very well-written letter in a post office,
kind of like
maybe with Madame Gauthier.
She guiltily looks like back into the room. Yeah, I was writing something.
And if obviously myself and Mina we would not gossip about anything you want to tell us, but if we can come into your room, do you want to tell us why? Because we would be, well, I know I would be devastated to lose you so soon, and you seemed quite happy to be joining our party, so this seems like quite
it is not anything any of you have done, really. I wasn't meant to be in Paris any time close to now. I should have left months ago. Please come in.
Mina has a look of utter confusion on her face, like, you know what I mean? She's like, huh?
Aminata is just going to Aminata is going to look over and be like, and just kind of mouth, we'll get there. And they're going to like purposely go and sit right in front of the open suitcase, back to it.
Outstanding.
And be like, okay, well, whatever pace you want to take, we have some time. And they're going to shoot a message off to Sylvia to say, give us some time. And I'm going to actually send a location of a restaurant that will be close enough to about where they are, like a lovely restaurant. But if they want to walk, it'll take them a bit of time. It'll give us the chance to see if we can wrangle.
Sort this out.
Yeah, I think
Right.
Sylvia and Heinrich will probably walk because there'll be more time for them to chat
Mhm.
anyhow. So that
was my
makes
thinking.
that makes total sense. And you know what, Sylvia doesn't really like sitting still anyway, so this is perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, Annelise, like, she leans up against the desk that she was writing at, and you see on the desk is like a piece of paper that is like halfway through being written on, and next to that
Mhm.
is her pistol with a few rounds of ammunition set up next to it, and she just goes, I mean, you know, my mistake for not having left sooner. This is all going to come to a head soon. I have a great respect for Major Heinrich. The moment I meet him, a clock starts ticking. A fuse is lit. I know the character of man he is. He would not tell people without, if I asked him not to. But if word gets out that I'm alive and relatively near to home, I mean, I might even be unfortunate. He might be required to report to his superiors about me still being alive. If I'm extremely unlucky, he will kill me where I stand.
I
Oh,
Did you-
I understand.
did you?
Desert,
Oh,
I believe.
Hmm?
No? Did you
Sorry.
desert your post or?
Yeah. I ran. I am not proud of
And
it.
that is, Annelise, that is completely understandable considering it was, after all, war. War is a terrible thing. And yes, I know you will have all sorts of guilt. I cannot possibly fathom what you are feeling, especially somebody who would have been of your rank with people underneath you who more than likely would have died at your command. So with that, Amanada's going to get up very slowly and like kind of approach, like, and
Vina.
kind of open their hands out, like kind of like looking for their hands and say, people, like, we do have human qualities about us. We are flawed by design, and running away in the face of danger, it is something that we've all tried to do. I've tried recently, not quite so successfully in more recent time, but we all do make mistakes. And yes, okay, if that is the case, I'll make sure that you don't have to come to dinner, but please just don't run from us. We are your friends. We'd understand. And I know you are scared about being judged by Heinrich and maybe even being, I don't know, what is the military term? Retrieved? I don't know what they do, but and also you're worried about what Sylvia will see you as, but you are a kind soul. You were scared. You were scared. It is natural. Like you said, this isn't a role you ever wanted to actually have. It was thrust upon you, and
It is not judgment, I fear. I deserve it, if anything. To my knowledge, not a single member of my battalion made it out of there. And it is one thing for a soldier on the front lines to desert. That is, their only responsibility is their own life. I had families and friends and loved ones who gifted their kin and their friends and their colleagues to me, and my charge was to protect them and make sure they were safe and cared for and trained and led and ready. And when it came down to it, I watched them get cut down and I ran. If I go back,
Vina very untypically, unteutonically is literally like she was sitting down looking at you and she gets up and he just walks over to you and she just literally pulls you into the biggest hug. Very, as I say, untypical for the free German speaking countries. But like she's giving you the biggest hug, like, and squeezes you, and she's
I love
like,
it because
she
anytime
doesn't
she's
even
tried to
say
comfort
anything. That's all
Sylvia,
she does,
Tina,
you know.
they're there.
And
Yeah.
They're
it
there.
is like, despite the height difference, because Mina is tiny, she is also actually extremely strong. So it is
Pretty
quite
strong.
bearable.
Yeah.
Hey,
Aminata is definitely going to take that cue and like poor Annelise sandwich Annelise in between, because I'd be taller than Mina and I
Yeah.
think I'm a bit taller than Annelise,
Yeah, you are.
and like just envelop them, and like my hair is all going to be loose, so it's just kind of tumbling over everything, and just start saying, I understand, we understand. You can stay. I can listen. You know me. I can make up a wonderful excuse. You got food poisoning. You know, things like this happen all the time in Paris. But just please, Annelise, please do not. Oh, don't run from us. You, we would like you to stay, and we'd like to work this out with you. We know how uncomfortable this must be, and I would never put you in a position where you have to face him. So if I have to say that you've gotten, I don't know, dysentery, whatever's going around at this time, then it is what it is. And Sylvia would completely understand. And, I can always ask Sylvia to, or
Sylvia. Oh
don't
God.
don't worry about that now.
Don't even
Don't
worry about her.
leave.
She's a legitimate survivor. If what will she's what tenuous bonds that we have in being veterans. I will be scum to her, and I deserve that. And she's just
We
clutching
don't.
at the both of
Tina
you,
is even
trembling.
crushing you even further, to like as if she was trying to push
You
the
like,
air
yeah, you
out
hear
Hold you
of your
choke
together.
lungs
sobs.
to stop you from talking, right? And like
Mina,
she's
my
kind of sandwiched
ribs.
between, like you're like behind me, right? So I'm completely sandwiched between, like, right.
Oh
So
no, Annalise is sandwiched between the two of us. You're in
Annalise
front of
is
Annalise,
sandwiched
and I'm
I'm
like behind.
she has her face kind of like, do you know what I mean, against you, and so just like you can hear kind of piped up and squashed, like as she just like pipes up and goes like, if you hadn't ran, you would probably be dead. And I don't care about all this honor and all these responsibilities and all that. I'm a
Yeesh.
simple person. You're alive, and I'm glad.
Eh,
she just starts bawling. And it's
oh my
like,
god.
for this person who has, she aims steady. She has like had moments of joking and being lighter, and this is probably the first time you've really seen Annelise. And she just clutches at you guys and just shakes her head. I don't know. I would like to see him. I would. It is so much a risk.
I understand, because
Okay,
it might put him in a difficult situation as well. So,
but
but
we have
for you, so
time.
I'm just glad you're alive, and I'm glad I met you.
Exactly. I'm
Uh,
so happy you're with us. You've just blended into our little strange family that we've managed to make for ourselves. And just
I
please,
truly
please,
don't deserve
please
it.
don't. Oh, we've
Now
all
Albert
done
thinks you're
some.
talking nonsense.
Exactly. And so
Well,
would Anki.
don't
Anki would not
upset
approve of
Albert.
this. But please,
Oh,
Annalise, I know you're worried about what Sylvia will think, and you're worried about Heinrich, but Sylvia is the depth of compassion in Sylvia. Yes, she might not always be the best when it comes to expressing her emotions, but her her
I think she'd be the first
genuine
person.
compassion for people is
Yeah.
like like it is there, it is eternally there, and she would understand
Yeah.
at how war makes the worst out of people. I've heard of it, and I don't know, but just please, like, okay, obviously, if you want to leave, we will, I will take you to the station myself if that is what you want. But
No,
I
don't.
think if you run from us now, you will keep running, and I don't know when you'd stop. Would
You
you
just
stop
see,
at the
you
end of
see
the
this
earth? You
like
don't know anyone.
I don't think you have to worry about Sylvia because Sylvia understands what it's like to
you
see
just see
all
this
the
like
horror
deeply
and
haunted expression as she like imagines a life of just constantly trying to get further away.
yeah.
Um,
And I
that
Because the
was the
assume
war
that's
broke
what
plan.
you
my
were
brother's
doing.
mind, right? And I'm just glad it didn't do the same thing to you.
I, I, it has been months of carrying their names, and I knew
Yeah.
if I did not leave Paris in those months, I would be here until the anniversary, and I don't know what happens now. I have a responsibility to see those people, and I don't know. There's no point in apologizing, but they deserve to know what happened.
There
I
is always a point in apologizing. Believe me, an apology, even if it is decades late, is worth, especially if it is haunting you as it clearly is, Annalise. This is not good for you. This is not good for your health. You will never be able to set down any sort of roots, even if your roots are nomadic as we are. It's not
I
good. Yes, you will be stuck here for the anniversary, but you have time between the actual event. We can take it slowly, and then instead of you just jumping into seeing Heinrich, we can take it easily and just reconsider staying for some time at least. We would be there to support you if you wanted to say something, and I'm sure they'd understand.
If you
It's
want
not an
to
easy
honor the
situation.
memory of everybody, of all the people that were in your battalion, with doing what you were doing, I mean, you've helped, you've made sure other people were not suffering by, taking out horrible vampires and necromancers and scientists and whatnot.
I
And
have
all
tried.
these things are just honoring their memory.
That is, yeah, it is what I do.
But
I worked with
like,
Madame Gautier because she pointed me towards people that needed help. It will never be enough, but
but
I
it is a start, no?
it's something. I I packed the bag out of panic. It is it is the same as it was in before. I won't leave, but I don't know what comes next. I I I am so grateful for all of you. I God, I've been so alone. I don't know what
Well,
happens next.
Not alone anymore.
you're most definitely not alone anymore. Just okay, if you just if you can just promise, just me and Mina, don't tonight you'll stay here, and just please don't leave, and we will sort it out. We always do. Give us a chance, no?
Yeah,
Stay with you if you like. I don't mind.
nine, please. You should go. And the Major Heinrich is a lovely man. You really. It would be good for you to meet him, and it's important for Sylvia as well. I feel a little guilty for not being there, but perhaps
Yeah,
tomorrow. I
Understandable.
let me
They,
let me get my head about myself and
Okay.
get out of the panic.
of,
And
of course, there are many, many meals. There's breakfast, lunch, dinner for many days to come. So
yeah,
please don't fret. We'll figure it out. And in the meantime, if you want us to talk to Sylvia, we can. Or if you'd rather be the one to talk to Sylvia directly,
it
we
should be me.
can.
It should be me.
It's your story to
I
tell.
I
Then
I plan to make something of an announcement during the veterans event. But it is important that Sylvia and perhaps Major Heinrich know beforehand.
okay, and we'll talk to Sylvia that you've got food poisoning. If you'd like, I'm pretty sure
I
I
ate
can find a
a
way to
bad
make it
fish.
very real. Exactly.
If I had a way with words like you did. Oh,
Oh, listen,
you shouldn't read the
wordplay
letter.
is
It's
so
it's
fun.
mostly gibberish, honestly.
Okay.
Well, okay. If you don't want us to read it, it will not be read. It is just do what you need to do, but please just don't leave without saying goodbye to us in person. Okay?
Albert would be heartbroken, and so would I.
And
Well, I would not want to break
Anki would
something.
be so sad. I've never seen a fairy dragon cry, but I'm pretty sure it would break my heart. And then I'd have to find you myself.
Well, do not promise me a good thing.
You can't upset the baby.
I cannot. It would be bad.
No,
Yeah.
fuck us.
Okay.
Don't upset Anki.
And she just gently taps her head against yours, Aminata, and then leans down a lot to
Lean
tap
your
her
head
forehead
against
against
mine
Mina.
because I'm part
Like-
tiny, yes.
Full
You
sit
should-
down.
You should go enjoy yourselves.
Right.
Have a nice meal. I'll be here in the morning.
So, Mina and Aminata, you guys jump in a cab and head to the restaurant.
Yes. And I will shoot Sylvia a message to be like, yeah, so Annelise has food poisoning, but don't be low key that we're missing somebody. Just I'm going to try and find a way to be as discreet as possible about who, don't mention names or anything. I don't,
It's
I'm
tough,
worried
isn't it?
about what might happen if the name comes up.
Mm.
I think it'd be
Sylvia's
very
worried.
interesting if the name
Annelise
comes
is in
up.
trance.
She writes
Well,
back.
don't send
like,
her
There's a few
messages.
Annelises.
food
It's not
poisoning.
They'll just
uncommon.
arrive and just
It's
say,
food
like, no,
poisoning, I
the
can go
other
and
person
cure
is.
it.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
She's a healer.
What?
Sylvia can just like, oh shit, if it's food poisoning, I can just jump in a cab and go and cure
It doesn't help that I'm
Yeah,
a
so I
no,
wouldn't
that
no,
send a
doesn't get
message.
affected by
I'd be like, we
poisons.
just arrived to assist us and be like,
Oh no.
Before Mina
It's
goes,
already
Mina's gonna pull a hanky out of her pockets, and then she's just gonna dry your tears, and then she's gonna leave the hanky with you, and then she's like, "We'll see you in the morning."
Thank you, Mina. Your
You're-
heart is
you're
as strong as the
unfortunately-
rest of you.
Unfortunately, you're one of us. It's
Ah,
kind of hard to get
One
rid
of
of us
us.
once
One
we.
of us.
I have been
Exactly.
kidnapped.
I know.
Alas, I should write the post that I have been kidnapped.
Of course.
Enjoy yourself, my
but
dears. I'll be okay.
we'll see you in the morning.
You will. We will. I look forward to breakfast.
Okay. At that, Amanada is going once we step out of the room, Amanada is just kind of going to look at Mina, and their emotions are just kind of flit over their face in a moment where they're usually quite guarded. They're just going to kind of be wear it all out there and be like,
Mina's just grabbing your hand.
I can't imagine what that must be like. These poor souls who
Fucking war, I tell you.
fight for what? And for people. Oh, it's.
And Mina's actually swearing. She's actually saying, "Yeah, fucking war," and you never really hear Mina swear.
Oh my god.
She's like, "A
There's gonna be a-
goddamn fucking war. It's absolutely goddamn ridiculous, right?" And you never actually hear Mina say God's name in vain. Like you never.
Aminata by default is going to clutch invisible pearls and actually just kind of like out of habit cross themselves as soon as you say that and be like, Mina.
Well,
This
it's true,
is
isn't it?
dire. We must get to the restaurant at once. I think we both need a very stiff drink. But yes, it'll be fine. There's many Annelises in Paris. He cannot possibly know, but I will run interception if she starts describing roles or anything like that, just to.
Mm.
Okay. We can
Yeah,
do
we
this.
have
We
to
can do
just
this.
steer
Two
the
of us, we're fine.
conversation away. It'll be fine.
So you guys jump in a cab and you head to the restaurant. Sylvia,
Mm.
Heinrich have only just gotten there themselves and have sat down with a table for had sat down. So this is the thing. They'd arrived at the restaurant and they had asked for a table. Sylvia had asked for a table for 6.
Six of
Okay.
us. Yeah.
Before your message arrived on the Arcanogram. Okay.
That's fair. Yeah.
Which and then so when so Heinrich and Sylvia are sitting there, and then when Mina, Justine, and Aminata arrive, Heinrich's looking. But you said 6, Sylvia. There's only 5 of us here.
That is Annelise. Is
One of us
she...
is indisposed. I'm afraid they're not feeling well.
Oh,
Yes.
you should have told
something-
me. I would get a cab to her, and I
Oh
could.
no! she
No. I
insisted.
think
She
she's
insisted.
fine.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It's just a wee bit of discomfort. A passing illness. It'll be gone soon.
No,
and
I am
she didn't-
perfectly well able to
We-
cure these things.
We know you are.
Actually,
you could clear that up.
Sylvia, the restroom somewhere. Would you mind?
Smooth.
Yeah, I
Sylvia-
use the
Sylvia's gonna
restroom,
give
and she's
Heinrich
just
a
kind
look.
of. Mina is just literally grabbing you, like, but if you're sitting down, she's like nearly like physically dragging you along. Grabbing the first, asking the first waiter, "Excuse me, where's the restroom?" And then as soon as she points out, she's
as she
dragging
does-
you, and you're much taller than me, right?
Yeah.
So she's literally kind of dragging you along.
As you do this, Sylvia gives Heinrich a look, and she's going to say with the lesser telepathy cantrip, "Yeah, great match for me, of course."
And when we're in the restroom, she's just gonna go and say, like, "Listen, a bit of a situation, and nothing too well.
You
anyway,
said she had food poisoning.
Yeah. Listen. Just don't mention any names. Don't give any descriptions. I think Annelise will talk to you whenever she's ready. A bit of a military situation, so just
Yeah, she did look very uncomfortable
yes,
when I mentioned him.
Sylvia,
keep it low key. Don't steer
give
the
me-
don't give names,
Sylvia,
don't give
give
any
me an intellect
descriptions
roll,
or
please.
anything. Okay,
Oh wait,
Outstandingly subtle.
actually, when all of this had happened, Annelise had gone on this, it will be so great to meet the great Heinrich Bauer again. So Sylvia's really fucking confused.
So give me an
Really
intellect roll,
confused.
please.
So that's a 15, and I'm going to use my motive fey look for 19.
Oh shit.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna let Ari decide on this. With that intellect roll, do you think Sylvia, A, knowing Mina, B, having gotten to know Annalise a little bit, and B, being a former soldier herself, possibly have a chance of maybe piecing
Putting
some
the
stuff
pieces
together with a 19?
Probably at the very least piecing together that, like, what might have seemed like just some sort of weird military crush or something is not the case, and there's something a lot not quite deeper, but a very different sort of relationship.
I feel like Sylvia, at the very least, would have she'd figure out that you're like pretty scared about meeting.
Yeah,
Heinrich.
you would know that it's not like, oh gosh, the handsome mage is coming. It's like, oh
no,
no,
she's afraid, and she
Yeah.
doesn't like.
Hmm.
Yeah,
it's
and she's
it's not
gonna-
like shyness. It's just fear.
it's fear, but I think as well she'd real. But also, like, as far as she's concerned, like, Heinrich is her big brother, and yeah, he's a great soldier, but he's a good person. So she's gonna wonder why somebody would be afraid. I feel like she would, knowing her
Yeah.
brother, she would piece it together.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think there's definitely like you're starting to see the framework at the very least.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. So,
Okay,
Sylvia,
well,
Mina?
you know what? If she
I'm not saying more.
doesn't,
It's Annelise will say what she needs to say when she's ready.
that's
Just-
fine. That's fine. I think I see. Sorry, Naga, stop. She's trying to dig a hole in the carpet. Huskies. No, I think, I think I know what's happened here. Annalise can tell me whatever she wants in her own time.
Thank you. I knew you'd understand.
Yeah, I'm. Heinrich said to me that, well, okay, I it doesn't matter. I will let Annalise talk to me. In the meantime, Heinrich is telling me that my period of mourning is over soon and is suggesting that you would be a great match for me. So,
Why me? Of all people.
he probably thinks that I would like your strength or something. I don't. Mina, you are beautiful and wonderful, but I do not see you in that way. And with everything that has happened, with the dinner, with Moraine, and all of that, so if he says anything, just ignore him. Let's just go out.
You see the look
So,
of
what?
complete confusion the second time. You haven't seen like complete and utter confusion. I mean, it's like, why would I?
So, you two guys go out to find.
huh?
Heinrich is having a pretty nice, friendly conversation with Aminata and Justine. He's like just fascinated, really, what life of a diplomat's daughter would be like, Aminata, and talking a little bit, trying to engage Justine a bit where he can about her sorcery and scholarly pursuits, but like that's so beyond 99%.
I do work, people. I work. I have a job.
No, you are the diplomat's
No.
daughter. That's how you were introduced to him.
I
So
work.
you are the
It's your job
you
as
are
well,
the
yeah.
diplomat's
Yeah, but
daughter.
none.
Okay.
If you
If
none
you
of
say
us
you
know
were,
anything about your secret work. That's secret.
that is true.
No,
That
I
is a
actually
job.
have a job.
Yeah,
But none of us
nepotism
Straight
know
up
doesn't count.
anything about
diplomatic
it.
job.
Nepotism doesn't count.
do.
Yeah, nepo
I have
babies we don't
told
care.
about the sort of
Nepo baby.
I
But
have
you're
told about the work
still
that I do.
negotiate, like you're part of this whole embassy, like
Yeah, complete
ambassador
nepo
kind of
baby.
thing. That's a job, like
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I've explained it though. I do have a job. I'm not just the diplomat's daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
her
you are.
job is to go to balls.
That is not true. That's the only thing we've done.
Networking,
Yeah. So,
helping your parents to
important.
network. That's a full-time job.
so Heinrich, when you all sit down, he says, "So, Sylvia has sent me some letters telling me of some of your adventures."
Oh, Sylvia, like on the walk here, given Heinrich a very fucking sanitized version of what happened. So,
But
Uh,
she's also only told me probably half of what actually happened because she is my sister. I know what she is like.
Ah,
So
yeah.
I think
He
the most
knows you.
recent thing that she told me was something about, what was it again, Sylvia? My memory is not so good. Why don't you refresh it
because
for
you
me?
are so old.
Yeah, and mature and wise. What was the last
God.
little adventure you were on? A certain
We were avenging my brother, actually. That
no,
was
there
the
was
last
there
thing
was
we did.
something. Oh, Oh, perhaps
There was an
I am not
ancient
fully.
vampire.
Yeah, that was the last thing she told me
Oh,
of. Was an
Oh,
ancient
that must have been the
vampire.
letter, of course, the ancient
you.
Yeah,
vampire.
but
Yeah.
there has been more
You.
since. But yeah, so
Oh,
Uh,
you're the more vampire?
no,
You would.
thankfully not. But
more fights.
more fighting
You.
and
You definitely would have seen Aminata's face take on a shade of pink you've never seen at the mention of the Baron, and just kind of like, oh God. I
oh,
yeah,
Sylvia
yeah.
mentioned that you had become entangled.
But is
Entangled.
Aminata gonna?
Oh Jesus.
I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure
I've
that's the
done
word I used.
nothing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh
Wasn't
well, I
me.
wasn't as entangled as I would have liked, but I guess.
Ah, Jesus.
Yeah, well, yes, there was
It
the
was a very
vampire,
lucrative
and
fight, actually.
Yeah, how so?
yeah, it
Oh,
was. Oh, he had been around
He
for
had a lot, a
quite
lot, a
quite a
lot of money.
long time, about 5 centuries.
Oh,
So he had acquired quite a bit of wealth, and it was a very delicate situation, but luckily we saw the end of it, and since then we exacted, I suppose, revenge on the person who mutilated our wonderful Mina's brother. That was quite satisfying. And yes, and
He
I
was a
didn't.
doctor.
yeah,
He
and
I
swore to
didn't
protect
tell
sick
you
people.
about that Heinrich, as it was a doctor and a sorcerer taking soldiers whose minds were broken by the war and augmenting them and taking control of their minds and putting
that
our
is
king.
horrific.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't.
He's dead now,
They've
yeah?
taken an
Oh,
oath.
he is
oh,
dead.
thoroughly. Mina made sure of that one.
Well, the doctor we don't know, but the sorcerer he is gone.
Oh, the doctor I
Um,
will find as well. I mean, he's taken an oath to protect people, to
Oh
help
yes,
sick people. He did the opposite.
That
yes.
is.
He broke his Hippocratic oath, and
I
that's not
didn't
something
tell
that can
you
be forgiven.
about that, Heinrich. I didn't want something like that going,
Best
using
not to
the
have something
army.
like that going through official channels. Yeah, no, I
Exactly.
understand. Yeah,
So
no,
I
no,
never told you.
no, that's just good. Yeah, but
Plus, it could have easily been, well, if I had ended up in a different hospital. Anyway. But,
so, if I may, sorry to interrupt. So, Manifester, she is a druid. Justine, you are a skilled sorcerer. Well, Mina, you clearly are from the Swiss Guard, yeah?
I am, yeah. I'm a member of
A
the Swiss
proud
Guard.
and noble line of warriors.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes,
No,
yeah.
and
Yeah. It's a family tradition, actually.
that is good. That is good. And Aminata, I assume that your skills are social connections and so forth to help with that complex sphere.
Yes.
He's a
In the
very
manner
good
of
sneak as
speaking,
well.
I'm
Mina is
quite
not subtle. She doesn't know subtle.
No,
Subtle is not in
yeah.
her
no subtle,
vocabulary.
as subtle as a brick to the face.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not in her vocabulary. Like, she doesn't know that word. She doesn't know the meaning
Um,
of that word.
So,
yes, I'm quite, I suppose, yeah, as you had described, I have skills in more social circumstances. I also have a few less savory skills that come in handy with just making sure that I like to uphold people and their honesty.
well, I did.
So,
There were a number of, while it's traditionally considered more of a masculine art, there were a number of officers in the army, women from noble families who had been trained in fencing, as their brothers were. Were you trained in fencing?
yes, I'm quite
Ah,
skilled.
of course. And what of this new member of your group, Annelise? What is her skills? Is she another druid or sorcerer?
she's very skilled
Annalise,
with a rifle. actually.
Oh, really? That's a.
Mm.
Was she from some
Ketchup,
sort of
really.
a? Really, is she from some sort of a farming or hunting background?
Oh yes, we are hunting. Yes, her family, she said,
And that's
were
a deception
were
roll, please,
farmers.
Aminata.
Oh,
Thank
absolutely.
God it's Avenant.
I
Tell
Cool.
me,
will take
it's
a bullet for
getting
Annelise right
redder
now.
and redder,
Have
and
inspiration, please.
And I do have my inspiration. I was not going to forget that right now.
her background.
Uh,
I haven't got a clue. Actually, I don't know her
To be
background.
fair, yeah, I
I
don't think many of
really
you know
don't
too
know.
much about like
No,
I know
her
that you're in the
family.
no,
army.
well,
Yes.
we know your family's got money. You've mentioned
True.
that as
I have
much.
Yes,
no
yes.
idea. I
Okay.
have no idea. I have none
So what did you get, Aminata?
whatsoever.
Where is deception? Oh, charm. Haha.
Charm.
Okay, so can I use any of my? Can I use
Let
my
me just.
Deception.
conversations?
You have deception and you have
Oh,
wordsmith.
do I have this? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
can
use all the
you can
things.
add
D8 as
you're
well
able
if
to
it goes
use,
tights up.
and you have your
Yeah.
inspiration die too. So you have a plus
Okay. Cool.
9 to this roll before you use an
Okay.
inspiration
Plus.
die.
Say +9. Go on,
Okay.
like.
Plus 9. So that is an 18 with just a plus 9.
Okay.
Because I rolled a
He
9.
seems to believe
D8.
you.
You have an extra
Well,
D8,
he
like
seems
inspiration.
he's Aminata. He seems to believe you that this
Oh,
Annelise is
thank
from
God.
some sort of a and So I mean, Aminata, you're from Paris.
Well,
Justine.
in a way.
Well, you did not say you're from
You
Paris.
grew up here.
I grew up here partially. I also was raised in Mali as well.
Okay, so and Justine, you're from Belgium. Mina from Switzerland. Where is Annelise from?
No idea. None.
Oh,
I'm going to pull out a name somewhere close to Cherville. Like literally, I'm just going to be like,
so Mina, charm roll, please, deception, because you do know she's German. You know she's Prussian.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no
That's
idea where
you
she's
know
from.
she's Prussian, so that's a deception.
Jesus,
Can
I do
can I help?
apologize,
No.
Is there
Annalise.
an aid?
No,
I
not for
Oh,
love
this
I love
yes.
person.
watching
Sylvia's
Neil
just
take every
watching this
opportunity
bunch
to
of bones going,
I
be
what?
have, and I have none. I have nothing. I haven't done
Zero
anything.
in
It's just a
charm.
straight roll. I have nothing. You're lucky. It's
You got
not
this, Mina.
-10.
I believe in you.
19.
Hey,
Okay.
there you go.
Hiya!
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, and so Aminata, give me a fresh deception roll for the bogus town that you're
Phew.
saying Annalise is from.
Oh, like, so I have started talking first, or would Mina have started first?
You were
Because
talking at
Mina
the same
started
time.
talking first.
You were basically
Okay,
at the
I'm
exact
going.
same time. So just give me another deception roll with +9. I'm sure you'll be fine. I
Okay, yeah,
mean,
no,
come on.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
I'll-
like a 23. So
yeah,
I'm going to
yeah,
like
yeah.
very discreetly kind of be like, oh, je suis désolée. I was confusing this town with like. Sorry, I'm not familiar with the Prussian region as much as France. But yes, it was. And literally, I'm going to just kind of morph where I said and be like, oh yes, that was the name. Apologies, it's not my strongest suit.
Random little village. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So Sylvia, you're looking at this. You're kind of, I guess, putting two and
Interrogation
two
limbo.
together at this
I'm
point.
piecing things together, but I'm
haven't
staying
known
very quiet.
long because I was away in Switzerland for a fight, and I'm only just back very recently, So yeah, haven't gotten to talking to
I know
new members
So
so much.
there is some sort of a parade on the
Yeah.
9th. I don't know if I want to really,
we
because
could go and watch if you want. I think I've heard that the president is giving a speech at l'Arc de
I am
Triomphe.
so grateful for all of the men and women who threw their lives away because some man decided he wanted more power and failed.
Yes. We do not have to attend if you do not wish to. I remember the men and women that fought under me, and none of them would be interested in a parade to honor their death.
Yeah.
A party, maybe. A party in a tavern, that they would respect to honor their death.
We can do that.
Maybe.
I happen to know a very good tavern.
That's not a bad idea.
And I I can pull some strings together. There are a few people who owe me favors. That is something we
We
could
can
do.
go. We can go to the tavern where we had the lock
Where you
in.
said the lock in, yeah.
They know it, so we
Oh,
just pull that bag of gold on the table again.
I'm going.
Now to
Water
expect to
again.
get
If
tired.
that
I'm
man
sure
sees
the
me
lock is
again,
in again.
I almost gave him a heart attack the last time I saw him.
Why? What did you do?
Ooh, what?
Well, it was the morning after, and
The morning
I
after what?
was well, Mina went to an underground fighting ring, and
Yeah.
and won, of course.
Yeah.
I had dinner
With
with
whom?
a friend who
Who is this friend?
they helped
Ally.
they helped after we defeated the vampire. He had this, and Sylvia's going to take out take the ring off her belt and just show it to him. Like, it doesn't look like much, but this
Hold on.
held.
So this ally helped your party fight the vampire, yeah?
Oh, well,
We
yes. They gave us
But
a
why?
magical
Why?
item.
Helpful things. Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
They gave us a magical item. But anyways,
okay,
they helped
but
me to decipher this magical
but-
item.
oh, so you were? That's why you alone were gone back for dinner,
Yes, so they
and not the rest of your party.
Magic.
oh
Magic.
yeah,
They
we were
teleported me.
predisposed.
They teleported me into the
Teleported
tavern.
you? They must be extremely powerful sorcerer.
Yes, I think they are very. I think they would be a sorcerer. Yes.
But do you know what university they studied in?
Oh,
I mean,
think
sorcery is so rare, and you have your friend here, Justine, skilled with it, and you have another sorcerer who can teleport you. What, many kilometers? What? How do you know all these
Oh.
powerful sorcerers? Sorcery is so rare in our kind.
you just
the
stumble
fey
across
blood, you know, people born who have fey blood or have the arcane spark.
loads of them in France.
They helped us. They helped us.
And-
Sylvia.
But anyway, they teleported me into this lock-in. If you imagine the scene, the tavern keeper was passed out, and I teleported in, and I woke him, and I frightened him because he had locked the door, and
But it's very rare for the Fey touch to study sorcery. More often, they join the clergy or they train as druids or witches. And you said they're a sorcerer.
well,
That's rare.
well,
Not so much.
they are.
Let's be honest, it
unusual-
is quite rare for Fey touch to go to university to study sorcery.
They
They
are
normally
an-
travel in other areas of magic. This is
They are a very unusual person and very interesting. But yes,
I would love to meet them sometime.
Well, they are very far away, and Sylvia's face is getting very, very red at this point.
Aminata would like to run interference at this point, seeing how uncomfortable Sylvia is.
Oh,
getting.
it doesn't matter what you try to do. Sylvia is so
He's not gonna
terrible
drop
at this and he's her big brother. There's nothing you can do to salvage this
Mina,
situation.
very used to
Okay.
this dynamic in her own family,
Yeah.
really thoroughly enjoying the show.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I will try
Keep
and.
digging,
So,
Sylvia. Keep digging.
What is this special lady's friend's name, Sylvia?
Moraine is
Moraine. Oh, that's quite a lovely name. So I don't, forgive me, I'd assumed that it was a man, but of course with you it would be a woman.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. So, well, anyway, she helped me to decipher this ring. We discussed it over dinner, and yeah. So after
and wait, so you said she teleported you the following morning, so you spent the night.
there was a room.
Indeed.
There was a room prepared for me.
Oh, so that
grin on her
she
face.
must be well, quite comfortable if she has spare rooms for guests in her house.
Yes.
She's very well off, all right.
Really, Mina? In what way? Is
Oh,
she?
she has like a really big house.
Please go on.
Well, really, really, it's
Zena,
more of
it's
There's a
not my
loose
story
there's
to
a loose
tell,
thread in
Heinrich.
this
It's not
chain.
my story to tell. It's your sister's to tell, but yeah.
but you've heard all about us, Heinrich. We haven't heard half as much about you.
I am very,
It's
very
Yeah.
true,
boring.
actually. Yeah.
The
You
eldest
are
son.
not boring. The
I
great
am.
Heinrich Bauer.
The
Show
eldest son of a horribly abusive man in Berlin who left the
Oh,
family home
sorry
as
to
soon
Sylvia
hear
is
as
going
he
to kind of
could.
kick him under the table. Sure.
Yes,
Uh,
your father is a horrible monster. Has Sylvia not told you of
okay.
this? Yes,
Yeah, but
horribly
Well,
I'm
abusive
still
well,
man.
sorry to
What I
to
what I
to
told what I told my
that
friends was
happened.
just that he thinks I am dead, and it is better that way.
So when I was
So
old enough, I joined the Prussian army and I showed skill and
to get away
progress.
from him.
And well, exactly, yeah. And I showed skill and promise, and I made my way through the ranks. I
Mm.
was one of the highest ranking officers in our regiment who was not from a paid commission.
Noble, but well,
yeah, he earned it
that
all on
is
his own.
that.
But you know,
But
That is quite a feat and
perhaps,
quite
but
admirable.
that is the entirety of my life story.
Well, I'm sure you're not as boring as you
I
make
never
yourself
said
out to
boring,
be.
just simple and uninteresting, really. I mean,
Well,
a soldier's life is.
simple.
I am not fighting vampires and sorcerers and.
well, the war is
Well,
over, thankfully. So no,
simplis,
none of us are fighting things like
Well,
that
that.
anymore.
Well, you are, and the
sim,
war has been over nearly a year, Sylvia, and you're still fighting these creatures.
Mm.
So,
simplicity
Someone
is
has
very
to.
much underrated.
hmm, there's a lot.
Simplicity is quite nice. There's not a lot of it these days.
No, no, the world is getting so fast with all these new technologies. I mean,
Yes, it's wonderful and scary all at the same time.
I was able to make it all the way from Berlin to Paris in under a day.
Yes, it's and with magic it would have been less than that. But
Yes, if I had
yes,
Sylvia's special friend, Moraine, I could have done it in the
there
blink of an
there
eye.
there are many others. Well, Sylvia herself can, she can turn you into a
She can
bird and you
turn
can
into a
fly.
bird. She turned into a falcon in front of, and then yeah,
Exactly. Like
I'm
magic
just.
is it's beautiful. I unfortunately did not have that gift
Well,
so
you
much
must have
in.
you. I mean, you're a fey touch, so you have the arcane spark.
Oh, I do. I just do not. I did not. I suppose gravitate towards it
I
as
understand.
much
I
as
understand.
my
Yeah,
family
yeah, yeah,
members.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, no, technology has gone quite a wonderful, scary way, and it's opened the world up to so many of us. There's just so much out there to explore, to learn, so many secrets to uncover, and
Mm,
oh, it's all so intoxicating. No?
mm. So, Sylvia, how comfortable do you feel leaving your brother with your friends if you need to say go to the toilet?
You know what? I trust you. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Ultimately,
Famous last words.
look. Ultimately, Sylvia is fine with Heinrich knowing anything about her because she knows he won't judge. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, shortly after you finish the main course, Sylvia, you do need to go to use the facilities, and as soon as
Okay.
you get up, Heinrich turns to you, Mina. Mina, tell me all about this moraine.
Damn
Okay,
it.
okay. Elf, noble, back
No.
from Arcadia,
God
and
What?
is
damn.
back in a Belgian
What?
palace.
An
Yes,
elf?
yes,
An elf?
yes.
My sister is courting an elf?
I'm not sure that she is courting per se, but I think Morena's really taken a shine to her.
My sister is being courted by an elf?
Yes.
Oh, scheisse. What am I supposed to? I can't. I'm her older brother. I'm supposed to make sure that any matches are, honorable and
Oh,
decent.
believe me, that would be an amazing match.
How am I supposed to, what am I supposed to do if she dishonors my sister?
He's not going to dishonor your sister.
I don't know what
Shush.
these elves are up to.
Shush.
Elves are just like people. They
She's
have
not going to dishonor your
lascivious
sister. Plus, your
thoughts
sister
and-
is a widow. She can do what she wants.
Oh, I'm not worried about
She's
that.
already honored,
Please, I'm not-
honorable.
No, I don't care about that side of things. Please, I'm from Berlin.
There you go. See?
Yeah. No, I just
Like, we don't give a shit about that.
I
sort of
don't want her
stuff.
getting hurt. That's all.
She's not getting hurt. She's like, I'm not,
Look,
she's
Sylvia
taking it at her own pace. Don't worry about her.
Even if she did not have her magic, Sylvia is an incredibly strong woman, except when it comes to her heart. Her heart is still very fragile.
Yeah, well,
and easily broken.
listen.
And I saw.
I mean, an elf of all people has like a lot of time to wait,
And so Sylvia, you get back, and as you get back, you see Heinrich pull away from Mina, having clearly been in conversation with her.
Sylvia is going to think that Heinrich is saying, so what do you think of my thinking, trying to encourage Mina? So
as soon as
Sylvia's interpreting the situation.
No, you're not. As soon as you see the look on his face.
Oh, I guess we've been speaking in German, right?
Yeah,
so I guess the others didn't understand. Yeah.
As soon as you see the look on your brother's face, he gives you this look, and you realize, oh shit, he knows. And I think that is a perfect place to pause in our story.
No!
Oh, Neil, I should ask. Do messages from messenger pens, are they visible to everyone or just the person receiving?
Oh no, it appears in front of the person so anybody can read it.
Okay, cool.
That's the anagram that is private as long as nobody else reads it.
The Moonlit Script spell is the same. When you cast Moonlit Script, it appears in front of the person. So
like it's in the air, like everybody can see it.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. Never mind then.
Well, anyway, folks, thank you for joining us for a very, very fun session. We had some very big fields, and we had a little revelation about one of our party members. We shall see what happens next, but we are going to be leaving Paris very, very soon to go on to bigger, better, and far scarier things. But until then, thank you so much, and we shall see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. So good night, all. Bye.
Bye.
Bonne nuit.